Okay, so here I'm going to be going through some uh, settings that you can do with Fiddlesticks that can help your win rate even before you start the game. So the first one would be in collection. You go to collection in the client, and then you go over to items, and make sure you have an item set for Fiddlesticks. This is important because it's important to be quick in the shop and easily be able to find what you're purchasing. And more importantly than that, you want to be able to select which item slot that your items are always on. So you could see, like I want my control boards always on my third slot. I want my boots always on my second slot. So you have to select these here. But if you do this, this will really help. That way, you're not fiddling around with it in during the game, and during a fight, you know where your actives are going to be. So I always have my Zonias and stopwatch on my first button. I always have my rocket belt and Everfrost on my last button. So whatever spot you like these items, you want to make sure that you select it here, and then when you jump in game, just make sure that you select on your item set tab, and then whenever you buy the items, it'll automatically move to this spot. Okay, so here I jumped into a practice tool game to show some in-game settings that you could do. But first off, before I get to those, I'll just show you how the item sets work. So when you're in game, if it's your first time with an item set, it's going to be over here when you go to the shop. It's over here to the right. You click in your item sets, and it's going to be whatever you put in there. And so if I buy Zonias, then it's going to automatically put in the last slot. So here, I'll do that now. Add gold. Buy Zonias, and you see it pushes the other items over. If I buy boots, it's going to push this over. If I buy rocket belt, it's going to put it at the last item. So that way you don't have to, fiddle around with it in game, and it's where you want it to be, and it's consistent. You don't have to think about where your items are. The less things you have to think about, the better. So in terms of settings, I would say having your R not on smartcast is a big one. The rest of it is mostly personal preference in terms of smartcast and not smartcast, but your R should not be on smartcast. The reason for this is, let's see, I'll level up just to show my alt. So you can have as many games as you want. You'll never really know exactly where alt's going to land because it's hard to kind of gauge, and you're going to be in different spots each time. What if you're just walking and you don't know exactly how far it's going to be from this spot versus this spot versus this spot? Maybe you're going this way, that way, whichever. It's good to just see exactly where you're going to land, especially since this ability takes a second and a half to cast. It's not like it's a reactionary thing and you need to get this off right away. It's going to take time anyways, so adding that 0.1 seconds to left click it is not going to make a big difference, but being able to see exactly where you're going to land is a big difference. So like if you have someone right here, are you going to hit them? From here, you're going to be able to fear them. Hard to tell. But if you go like this, you'll see, okay, I'm not going to fear them unless I alt and then I can E when I land, or W flash when I land. I could fear them, but you know that you're not going to once you land. So this way you can at least see, exactly where to land. And going with that, you should be able to unlock your camera when you're using your alt, so you can see exactly where you're going to be going. So even if you're used to playing with a locked camera, it's good to know how to unlock your camera just for when you're about to alt, so you can move your camera, see where you're going to be, and then you can go back to re-locking your camera if that's what you want to do or whatever. If you feel more comfortable with it locked, or even right when you land is probably more ideal. But however, it makes you feel better. But just being able to see everything, seeing more with your screen is going to be better, especially where you're going to land. So the way you do that is here you go down to camera control, and then you scroll down. It's going to be right here, this toggle camera lock. It's going to be default to Y. You can change it here. You could put whatever here, and it's gonna whenever you click that button, it's gonna go between locking your screen and unlocking your screen and letting you move it. So just know how to do that is important. I'd say the biggest one that I don't see people using is target champions only. And so this one's really important. What this does is if there's an enemy champion in here, I'll just make sure that I don't die here. So if there's an enemy dummy here, or an enemy champion or whoever, you can do it where you click a button and you see how my cursor changes and has it has a little red inside of it. That means that target champions only is selected. So if I'm clicking Q right now, and I'm not fearing the minions. So you can see if you have your mouse over a champion, there's that little icon that appears, the little target thing, and that means that you're going to use your targeted ability on that champion. So even if I'm hovered over this minion, you see how that target thing is going? That means that your fear is going to go onto a champion, and you're not going to be fearing a minion. Even if I'm trying to fear a minion, it's not going to let me, but if I'm hovered over a champion, it's going to fear the champion. So it's important to know how to toggle this on and off, so that if you're going for a gank, you won't accidentally fear a minion, because it's one of your most important abilities when you're ganking is to be able to fear them, because that's your big CC, so you don't want to be wasting it fearing a minion. I've seen that too many times, and it doesn't matter how good your mouse movement is. If there's a billion minions around the champion and the champion's moving, you could mouse slip, you could click on the minion. The way to fix this would be, you go up here to hotkeys, and then you go down to abilities, and you scroll down all the way, and it's right here, target champions only. So I have mine at T, because it's right next to my R. It's easy for me to click. Just whichever button you want, you can select the button, and whenever you do that, it's going to toggle it on and off. And the way, actually, the way to get to toggle on and off is you also have to go down to game, and then you have to select this, treat target champions only as a toggle, so make sure this is selected. So you see whenever I click T, my mouse turns red and black then. Black is normal, red is target champions only. So when you're going for ganks, you want to make sure when you want to fight, make sure you have this. This is also useful if, let's say, you're doing something, you're like messing up a clear or something, and say I got a chickens here or something. I don't have a jungle item, so they're not gonna keep walking to me. Say I want to like click right on the spot. I can walk here, and I didn't click on the minions, or the chickens, so you can turn the toggle champions only on, and you can right click and you won't hit the minions. You can walk to the spot, even if there were all those chickens on top of the spot. You can still walk right there, and you're not gonna hit them. So you can, it's very useful to be able to turn it on and off. Now I'm stuck inside of them. I can't move. But yeah, so there are multiple uses for this. So I would definitely say get used to doing this. Okay, so here's going to be the last thing, is going to be being able to use your F keys to move around and look at your teammates. So a lot of people know about using their F keys to be able to look around the map. But the way that it works is you can, if you click F2, it's going to look at whoever the top person in your scoreboard is on your team. So you see Ash's bottom lane, so I want to put her down here. Lucian's up there. No one decided to go mid, I guess. It's fine. So if I click F2 now, it's going to look at Lucian. If I click F3, it's going to look at Kog'Maw. If I click F4, it's going to look Renekton. 5 is going to look at Ashe. So it's just going to look at whoever's, there on the scoreboard. There's going to be the first, second, third, and fourth. And you can move these around. So I don't like clicking the F keys. For me, clicking the F keys is kind of uncomfortable. I have to like move my hand. My hand position is weird. So if it's uncomfortable for you, you can switch it to whatever buttons you want. So to do that, you go down to here to hotkeys, and then go to camera control. And then it's going to be right here. This select ally 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can put it in the set to whatever you want. You see I put Shift Q, Shift W, Shift E, Shift R. So that if I click Shift Q, it's going to look top lane. Shift W, I'm going to click. Usually that looks at mid lane, but these bot games, you know what happens. People are just going everywhere. This is a bot game. I'm not trolling a game or anything right now. So a good time to be able to look around the map, even if no other time, just while you're doing camps, while you're draining, it's good to just look around. There's no reason to look at yourself while you're draining. So you can look at the lane states if you're thinking of ganking the lane or something. It is important, and it does help if you can get into the mindset of, looking around. It might look like I'm looking too fast on screen right now, but if you know when you're going to be clicking the button, you can gain a lot from it, and it's not like you're getting meaningless information, because if I tell you right now I'm about to look top lane, and then you do that, you're kind of expecting it. So you know when you're going to click the button, so you can expect it, you can, see what's going on. I'm doing a terrible clear, but I'm just, trying to explain that using the F keys is important if you're doing nothing else.